Hey guys, welcome back to Contest Prep University. Joe Klemczewski with Adam Atkinson in our series on planning peak week. And something that happened a while ago, I remember when I was still promoting shows, Adam, I was one of the first people to do live judging because it just made sense. As an athlete, why have them and their friends, their families, sit through 18 hours of a day when you could just get on stage once for the pre-judging, another class goes up, and you come back maybe 30, 45 minutes later, for your finals, and then you're done. And that's really caught on. And I polled all of our athletes at shows that I promoted. They all loved it. There was no downside. So I think this will probably become even more common at shows that are okay with this size-wise. But live judging, how many clients do you see incurring this, and what is your approach?
Yeah, I would say maybe 20% of my clients are involved in live judging. And typically the format, it seems to be live judging can be just a little differently defined by the federation. But typically you might have all the bikini classes go, and then they kind of rewind and go back to class A, B, C, and D and reward all of them right away after pre-judging, which is nice because then the clients don't have to wait and, really have to wait forever to find out what their placement is. So with that, it's kind of a one-shot deal. I do like once they get that, hopefully first place award, they shoot me a set of photos, even before they go out for awards. So just in case they win their class, we're ahead of the game in terms of where their sodium or water or their pump up is to make sure they're very competitive in the overall, because that's typically where pro cards are offered, or if they're in a pro class where money is involved. And those are always usually really big battles. So having them text photos ahead of time before awards, and then also making sure right after, they find out they won, hey, stay pumped up. You only have, 3 classes, getting awarded ahead of you. It's going to fly by. So you're going to be back on soon.
Yeah, I'm so glad you brought up that point. I wasn't even heading there in my brain, but you're right that a lot of people kind of give up. It's like, okay, the work is done. It's just I'm doing my pump up for my pre-judging. I'm going to be back on stage in an hour, so there's nothing really I can do. But it's anticipating that you're going to be back to back and always assuming you're going to be in that overall. You might have another couple hours, so you've got that setup that is very important. And I do like the condensed nature of the live judging because you don't have to worry about 12 hours of separation or even a full day. But at the same time, it does put the pressure on making sure that you're ready at that time. And I'll give you an example of a client of mine who was competing in Australia. And we had a lapse of time there where I had to get, a couple hours of sleep, so I couldn't be communicating the whole time. And he just happened to be in that situation where he won his lightweight class, and he was already done with the overall by the time I woke up and got the news. And I looked at those pictures and I said, oh my gosh, you look amazing. You look unbelievably full. What'd you do? And he said, well, I just did what you said, which was to drink extra water if I needed it. And the irony is he drank almost a gallon of water, between in a very short window, and it was good because he had been sweating, pumping up for the first stage appearance, and it was exactly what he needed. But because we had anticipated all different scenarios and talked through them, my client was ready to roll with whatever he was assessing at the time.
That's awesome. Definitely cool.
Any things that you've seen in terms of little tricks that people might need to assess what is potentially happening in their body in those last few minutes or hours?
Yeah, like if you're urinating a lot, you're going to need to replace that water somehow. Also too, like if you're getting any kind of color to your urine, that's a sign that you maybe even need more water and are dehydrated as well. So that's something that I monitor and, ask somebody. If I feel like they should be getting fuller than they are, I might ask them what their rate of urination is. I know that's a weird question, but that's probably what happened to your client, just like it sounds like the sweat They were probably going to the bathroom a lot.
Absolutely.
And they were really just more so replacing that water. And sometimes nerves and being on stage does that to people. Just any instance they, get that neurological cue to go, they don't even bother holding it. They just go. And I think a lot of people do go more often because they're afraid their stomach's going to be bloated if they don't pee. So I think that's always something to watch out for, is that hydration.
That's a great point, especially about the adrenaline and cortisol that can make you, use glycogen quicker and urinate even more. So guys, thank you for hanging in there with this series. I'm having a great time, and we've got one more for you. So in our next and final episode, we're going to talk about what you do if you have back-to-back shows, so a week or two apart. So hang in there, and we'll be back in Contest Prep University to wrap up this series.